So you want to buy yourself a truck, but not just any truck, you want a good truck. And you've got $10,000 in your budget. What do you buy? I mean, it's not an easy decision to make, I'm gonna be honest. There's tons of different trucks out there, and their names are pretty confusing, so that doesn't even make it any easier. But I promise, by the end of this video, you'll have all the tools to hop on my friend Greg's list and find yourself a truck of your own that fits all your needs. We've got everything from crawlers to haulers, off-roaders to heavy loaders, even a drift truck. You guys have all been asking for more truck stuff on Donuts, so here you go. This is D-List.
Number 10. Lexus GX 470.
The Lexus GX 470 is a luxury version of the Toyota Land Cruiser. Legendary truck. Legendary. In other words, this thing got the off-road tech from the Cruiser, but all the luxury features you'd expect from a Lexus. And most importantly, she's got a 4.7 liter V8 putting out 235 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque, dude. Now, these Mamma Jammas were super expensive when they were new, which meant rich people bought them, and rich people take their cars to dealerships to have them maintained. And finally, this truck has depreciated to the point where broke car boys like Zach Job can get his hands on them. Luxury and off-road are two things that you don't normally associate with each other. So I don't blame you if you've overlooked the fact that this car has permanent four-wheel drive and a center locking Torsen differential. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you guys a question. All right. Do you like spinning your wheels in the air? Do you? No, you don't. Nobody does unless you're a bozo, and you're not a bozo because you're watching a donut video. And to prove you're not a bozo, why don't we take it one step further, hit that subscribe button, and I'll basically send you an email every time we put out a video. Zach Job bought his GX for $6,500, and it's nice. It is the comfiest car that anyone has at Donut. Now, if you had $10K, you could buy one of these and still have a couple grand to dump into a good set of tires or some sweet overlanding gear. I'm talking tent roof rack, maybe a lift kit, one of those really complicated stoves that folds out of the back. You can get yourself some of them jugs they put on the back of trucks at movies. What's in there? Water, gas, milk? Nobody knows. Or maybe one of those racks that people put on their hoods. What is that rack for? I don't know. There's a shovel on there. Definitely need a shovel if you're going to be overlanding, because, you know, what if you have to go poop in the middle of the desert? You got to bury it. Take nothing but pictures. Leave nothing but a hole filled with your poop.
Number 9. Chevrolet C10.
I love this truck. It's the Silverado's grandpa, and it was Chevy's rear-wheel drive half-ton pickup from the legendary CK platform. CK? Why? Because we love you. CK line offered a ton of different truck variations, but for me, nothing beats the classic look of a short bed, squared up C10. C10s are literally cool as ice, and you can find them all day for well under $10,000. In fact, last night, Nolan and I were sending each other C10s back and forth through text, because we're not allowed to hang out, but we like the same kind of cars. And as soon as this whole thing's over, maybe you might see me and Nolan at Bob's Big Boy in Burbank doing a classic cruise. C10s make really great project cars because the parts are super available. It's got a big old engine bay, lots of room for activities, and you can make a C10 into pretty much any kind of truck that you want. You can slam it on the ground and some bags and throw an LS in it. You got yourself a certified cruiser muscle truck. They also look really good with a lift kit parked in the middle of the desert with a couple holes in the side, probably from a drug deal gone south. Gone south literally and figuratively. Talking about El Chapo. Talking about the cartels. Don't mess with them. Turns out, that's why they call him El Chapo, because he chops your finger off. And if somehow you are still unconvinced about the C10, my fantasy best friend and bro, Post Malone, owns a bagged LS swapped one, and it looks freaking hard.
Number 8. Jeep Cherokee XJ.
You want to build a rock crawler for the cheap. The Cherokee also known as the XJ, is probably your best bet. Now, we've sung the XJ's praises before because basically there wouldn't be a Jeep anymore if it weren't for the success of the XJ pulling its parent company out of a financial slump. It's the baby that saved the relationship, except it actually worked instead of adding stress to an already failing marriage that will end in years of a child custody battle. And the only way you can get your son back is to turn him into a YouTube automotive star. Sorry, I got lost there for a second. The styling is straight up iconic. A lot of people throw that word around a lot. I mean it about this thing. Jeep got it right the first time. And a testament to that is the fact that they barely changed it from 1984 all the way to 2000. Hold on. Max, switch them up. I can't tell the difference anymore. How many things can you think of that start awesome, remain awesome, and then when you least expect it, bam, still awesome? One of the main reasons that people love the XJ is that it's famously reliable and easy to fix. That's probably why you can still find so many of them on the road, with a ton of them going for well under $10,000. Hop on my friend Greg's list and you can find tons of these things. And yes, many of them are automatic or rear-wheel drive or equipped with the weaker 4-cylinder engine. But if you look hard enough, there's really great deals on the really, really good ones out there. I found one, this one, with 4-wheel drive. It's got a manual transmission and the mighty 4-liter engine, and it's only $3,500. And even if you find one that needs some minor repairs, you can take the entire car apart with basic tools, and the repairs are super affordable. It's very satisfying, like watching a mukbang video. If mukbang videos were super satisfying, which they are not. So, working on an XJ is the opposite of watching a mukbang video.
Number 7. Dodge Ram.
The second generation Ram by the Dodge brothers, in my opinion, is one of the most timeless looking pickup trucks ever made. The Dodge Ram body is the basic shape and look that has influenced almost every modern truck that came after it, and it should, because it was expertly designed by computers. Now, another reason that I absolutely love this truck is that it was originally named the Louisville Slugger. You guys know that I'm from Louisville, right? Kentucky Cobra. And this truck couldn't get better PR when it was shown holding its own against the forces of nature in the film Twister. My dad came into town when I was a kid, and he came and picked me up at school at lunchtime. We went and saw Twister. It's a great memory. And you might be thinking that tornadoes are just spinny wind, but they're not. There's also dust and lightning and cows. You ever think of that? Twisters are like the turbochargers for the sky. There's a few listings on cargurus.com that fall well below $10,000, including one with 591 miles on it that still looks like it's ready to haul your crew to a roofing job in Mordor, if that's where you're doing a roof. Speaking of timeless designs,
Number 6. Ford Ranger.
the Ranger is one of the last honest to goodness pickup trucks. All right. It's compact. It's good on gas. It gets you and your stuff from point A to point B. Pretty much all old Rangers are super cheap. But my pick for this list goes to the first generation, sold between 1982 and 1992. Second gens are equally fantastic trucks, but for me, I like them boxy boys. Just what I prefer. Newer models might have a little bit more power and some modern comforts, but these old boxy boys were built to last, and they do. Early 2000s Rangers suffered from a little issue that involves the frames rusting out, but first gens were literally bulletproof. And by literally, I mean figuratively. Now, these humble little guys are obviously Not as showy as a GX470, but they could be optioned with similar practical features like an LSD. Get one with four-wheel drive, and you won't have to do the talk of shame with the AAA guy when you find yourself busting through some swamps on your way to work. You don't drive through swamps on your way to work? Weird. The Ranger came with plenty of engine, cab, and bed configurations, but if you're looking for a deal, you won't have to look long because these are some of the most affordable trucks on this list. Here's one for sale for only $4,000, and it already has a lift kit, fender flares, and big old tires. And I already know that's what you were planning to do. You're sitting on the toilet, you're thinking, how did he know that? That is what I was planning to do. Then you're like, did he just say I was on the toilet? How did he know that? I got little birds everywhere. I got eyes in the back of my head. I got a secret network of people telling me what you're thinking. But in case the Ranger is too sensible for your tastes,
Number 5. Ford Super Duty.
if you're looking for an absolutely buff workhorse, look no further than the first gen Super Duty. These big bad boys have big bad beds, big cabs, and are great for towing big ass payloads, brother. One thing you won't have to tow is a boatload of cash, because you can find one for well under $10,000. Here's an F350 on my friend Greg's list for $4,000. Now, while the Super Duty's baby little bitty brother Ranger was only available with 4 or 6 cylinder motors, Super Duties only came with Triton V8s, Power Stroke diesels, and the massive, awesome Triton V10, which honestly should have come with a neck brace for the kick you'll get from that 6.8 liter beast with 362 horsepower and 457 foot-pounds of twerks. You may have even experienced this engine without knowing it, because Ford has used it in motorhomes and freaking school buses. Remember just going to school? Seeing your friends? That used to be fun. The Super Duty is a ridiculous amount of truck for the price. The F350 dually, the thickest truck on the list, can tow 13,600 pounds. That's like 11 horses. That's enough for a chariot race.
Number 4. Nissan Hardbody.
The Nissan Hardbody is one of the OG mini trucks because they're cheap and they're durable, and that alone makes them great trucks. You can still see them on the road all over the place, even 30 years after they were sold, but that's not why they're on the list. The reason that the Nissan Hardbody is on the list is because you can build them into sick-ass drift trucks. Ooh, I teased it a few episodes, but these trucks share the same engine as the 240SX. And the 240SX has the same engine mounting points as the freaking Nissan Silvia and 180SX. The wheelbase is also pretty close to that of the 240. And it's got a pretty low ground clearance for a truck. So it drives kind of like a car, more like a car than most trucks. You can swap a freaking SR20 DET, put some coilovers on the front, some drop plates in the rear, and you basically have a Silvia that you can fill with treehouse building supplies. I do love a good treehouse.
Number 3. Chevrolet Silverado.
You cannot have a list about trucks without including the Chevy Silverado. It's a law. It's the heartbeat of America. It was first introduced in 1998 and has remained a staple on American roads ever since. From brodozers to work trucks, it's probably one of the most versatile pickup trucks available ever. There's quite a few generations of Silverado, and there's a ton of different kinds of Silverados. There's single cabs, crew cabs, V6s, Duramax turbo diesels. It's overwhelming, but if I had $10,000 to spend on a Silverado today, I know which one that I would get. A first-gen Silverado SS. If you know anything about Chevys, you know if it says SS on it, it means freaking business. It means it came to eat. This limited edition Super Sport Rado came with a high output V8 called the Vortec Max, which is also what I call my editor/director Max when he's on a tear. It puts out 345 horsepower and also came equipped with performance suspension and some of the sickest wheels ever thrown on a stock truck. In fact, there was even a special Intimidator SS made to honor Dale Earnhardt. His birthday would have been a couple weeks ago. Happy 69th birthday to the Intimidator. Also 69. Nice. Now, nice SSs can be expensive, but spend enough time on my friend Greg's list, and you won't have to plunk down nearly that much Silverado, to get you one for under $10,000.
Number 2, Toyota Tacoma.
Number 2 on this list is the Tacoma, which is basically Japan's F-150. An ultra capable pickup truck with bulletproof Toyota reliability. You can't go wrong with a used Taco, and it's our top pick for pre-runner builds, which is honestly one of the sickest kinds of trucks. The first gen Taco was produced from 95 to 2004, and while they do hold their value very shockingly well, you can still find plenty of them online any day of the week for under 10K. In fact, Toyota Tacomas might be the hero cars in a certain donut series for the next season, which we're going to film when we're all allowed to hang out again. Toyota pickup trucks are such trucks that before it was called the Tacoma in America, it was literally called the Toyota pickup. But Tacoma, now that is a name. I assume that it's named after a mountain or some town in the Northwest. If you get a 95 to 2000 Toyota Tacoma, make sure that it was taken to the dealership for a recall to fix a rust-proofing problem that the trucks had, causing them to taco. They've literally broken half. And I'm sure a few of you truck nuts are crying that I chose the Taco over the Tundra. Don't get me wrong. Tundra's a great truck, but it shares the same 4.7 liter V8 with the GX 470, and honestly, I would rather have the Lexus. Finally, number 1. There are many great trucks out there for many different purposes, but this D list can only be crowned by the one true king. In my opinion, the coolest freaking truck that you can buy for under $10,000.
Number 1, Ford F-150 SVT Lightning.
Lightning!
You might be skeptical about finding an SVT Lightning for under $10,000, but let me tell you, they're out there if you look hard enough. Here's one on Facebook Marketplace for 8,500 bones. It might not be the cleanest one out there, but it's still a Lightning based on an F-150, which is one of the best trucks ever, but it's also got a freaking supercharger on it. It is one of the most memorable and coolest vehicles in the entire Fast and Furious franchise, and it was bone stock and is named after one of the most badass natural occurrences on Earth. Now, the second gen Lightning that Brian drove in the Fast and the Furious is easily the most iconic and recognizable, but the first gen is almost just as sick and a lot of times twice as cheap. Freaking Lady Gaga has one. Lady Gaga has a lot of really cool cars. Actually, Google Lady Gaga's cars. I'm on the shadows, so make a wasted. And if you're having a hard time finding a Lightning for under 10K, also type in Harley Davidson Edition F-150. It came with basically the same supercharged engine as the Lightning, but it also had 4 doors and it was way more luxurious. Host of Bumper to Bumper, Jeremiah has one. And if it's good enough for my buddy Jerry, then it's good enough for me. The SVT Lightning might not be able to haul more than 2.5 people. It might not be able to tow a bunch of weight. It definitely cannot climb a mountain unless it's a mountain pass. But what it lacks in practicality, it more than makes up for in sweet, sweet burnouts. And for that reason, it is crowned the king of the D list. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the D List. You made it all the way to the end, and I really, really appreciate that. This is your first donut video. Welcome aboard. I hope you liked it. Hope you check out more of our videos. If this is like your 4th video, why don't we make this thing official? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the gang. Become a boost creep. Become a D-hole. Join the underground. You can go to donutmedia.com, get some sweet merch. Oh, speaking of Lightning, check that out. We got new shows every single day. Follow Donut across social media at Donut Media to make sure you don't miss any of it. Follow me at James Humphrey for fun behind the scenes stuff. Keep on trucking. Keep on loving. World is kind of scary out there. We're all kind of divided, but if you're watching this video, it means you like cars and I like cars too, so we're friends, bro. I love you.